that should be better. Let's just make sure my voice is actually on. We'll just start with a little bit of music. Let me know if you can hear my voice, hear the music, see the screen, and then we'll just get settled in. So take a minute, submit your track if you haven't already using the link in the description, and let's just enjoy. This is a more chill section in the song, so I'll just skip ahead a little bit. Just get the energy up. So clean. Alright. Regrettably, I'm going to fade this one down because it looks like most of us are here now. Alright. I don't know why I'm shouting into the microphone. I feel like you can't hear me if I'm not shouting over the music, but that's what the microphone's for. Okay, cool. What's the level of everything like? Okay, so if anyone is completely new here, I'm just going to double check how this is doing. Yeah, it's looking okay. If anyone's completely new here and you're working on any sort of music in progress, sort of work in progress, as long as it's not AI and it's not like a remix of something that's going to get me a copyright strike, just submit it using the link below and we'd love to listen to it on stream. We have a bunch of stuff already submitted. And I've decided in this stream I'm going to pick people, I'm going to add people to the queue who are like giving lots of feedback during the stream, because I say this at the start of every single stream, so forgive me, but what makes these really special is not just that I'm trying to dig in with a bunch of plugins and try to make your music sound better, but it's that during the stream, you know, we've got 50, 60, maybe 100 people who are also joining in, giving you a bunch of feedback. So we've got all these people with different headphones, different speakers, different rooms, getting to hear your music. And when we're listening to that person's music, we're all focusing on your track all at the same time. And we're trying to really get you loads and loads of feedback and really sort of push it over the finish line. As we get started as well, I want to say a big thank you to Boombox for sponsoring the stream. It's the platform that I'm using to host the streams, have all the tracks, so that I can, you know, put them up and apply effects onto them. So as we get going, if there are any paid users of Boombox, at times I'm going to play some of their tracks, just like this first track was by Dezette. They're a Boombox subscriber or user, and you'll learn more about the platform throughout the stream. So we just got the stream started with their track, and it had some really, really good energy. So what I'm going to do is play Dezette's track out, and I'm going to add a couple more tracks to the queue of people that are in the chat right now, and we'll just get it started. Oh no, wait, let's go from there. So the voice is a bit low. Cool. So I see Matthew in the chat, so I'll add your track. Oh, here we go. Add to queue. find it. Dodo, I'll add your track a little bit later. Let's see what we've got here. I'll start. We'll get on to. In fact, no, we'll listen to this track here by Matthew Holden. I like introducing them as we get going, but I haven't added many to the tracks to the queue. So this is Hollow by Matthew Holden. Hey Michael, I would love your feedback on the mix, but also around the arrangement and production if there's time. So when you submit a track, you can also sort of add time-stamped comments, and you could, you know, type and say, hey, I want some advice on the drums during this section, or I'd like to know, do you think the vocal sounds loud enough in this section? That's really what I would advise doing if you're submitting a track. It makes it really, really useful. But anyway, we'll get started on this, and I'll keep adding some more to the queue as we get going. Nice. Cool.
Live in fear that I feel too much.
It's a nice, powerful start.
I don't wanna lose all that I have at once. So I took back my heart and emptied the sorrow. 'Cause who even knows if you love me tomorrow? Now I'm
right now.
everything's been taken out. I can't feel anything now.
So chat, what I was thinking was I really like how clean it is. There's a lot of depth, a lot of space, but I was feeling that the vocals felt maybe a touch thin, maybe a touch bright or sharp in the high end. But I'm going to take another listen and sort of sweep around with the EQ, because I felt like that was the only thing that was sort of, it was making it sound more like a recorded song and less like a soundscape. I don't know if that makes any sense, but we'll take another listen here. Around here.
Taken out. I can't feel anything now.
Yeah. I really like it. I feel that maybe an air band on an EQ has been pushed a little bit too far. Like if you've got a mag EQ or an air EQ, maybe you're boosting the top end a bit. I think if you take maybe 2 or 3 dB out, a nice wide bell like this, maybe around 10K, on the vocals, I think that could smooth out the vocals, but obviously we don't want to take it away from those synths, those hi-hats. So when I apply this over the whole track, obviously it's going to make the track sound mushy, but I would just ease back on those vocals a bit, because I think your vocal, like the level of your vocal is really good here.
Taken out. I can't feel anything now.
Yeah, I think the actual loudness of your vocal's fine, but it feels too prominent because there's just too much high end over here. But it's nice and powerful. Like, it's really tough following Dezette because his tracks are just, they absolutely slam. So what I'm going to do is, it's quite a long track, so I'm going to jump to here, and then we're going to play through a bunch while we keep listening. Let me just check to see. Dodo says that they're lagging. I'll see if we got any dropped frames or anything. It says I haven't had any dropped frames, so it seems like the stream is quite stable, but let me know if anyone else is having issues, okay?
Everything's been taken out. I can't feel anything now.
Wow. this is incredible. I don't want to stop it. I've got 2 notes here for this section though, right? What I was thinking was, this sounds so cool. Would it sound even better if we added some more filter automation on the lead synth and also delay automation on the lead synth? So at times during this sort of like ARP on this lead synth, the filter kind of opens up and closes, and then maybe the delays sort of cascade and then are pulled back in. I think it could add some really, really good movement. You could also try that with like with a clipper or some crunch. You could have the lead sort of like crunch into a compressor and then ease back. But take a listen to this and just imagine what it would sound like if that lead was being pushed and pulled just a little bit. Nothing that sounds cheesy, but just, you know, take a listen. Like if it was just pushing and pulling a bit, like delays cascaded off. I like how that opens and closes there, really good. I love the way you bring the vocals back in. That reverb breath, I'm so sorry because it's like it's moving so much, but that reverbed breath there is so good when they say hollow, hollow, and then you just kind of catch that breath coming off at the end. It just adds that human element to the track that so many tracks are missing. Yeah. Beautiful. I'm just going to sweep around. Really, really clean. I like the movement in the low end as well. I think you've got a really good movement there in the low end. Make sure you don't crush that. If you ever push this a bit louder, make sure you don't crush this because it's got some weight behind it that I can hear in these headphones. I wish I could play it on like the big speakers. Gaming in the chat, I can see there. It's definitely clipping a little bit, but I think all of that's probably intentional, unless it's the stream that I'm doing here. Now the stream won't be clipping because I've got the volume down here. Yeah, really, really good. And also chat, yeah, you can submit absolutely any genre. Looks like the stream's lagging a little bit for some people. Let me just double check what internet I'm on. Yeah, we're good. The most important thing for me is that the audio doesn't lag. So if the video lags a little bit, I'm on satellite internet. If the video lags a touch, who cares? As long as you can hear the audio really well. You'll see what I did, Matthew, as we went along. I added you some notes here on Boombox, and this is exactly what I do with my mixing and mastering clients, is I'll just be adding these timestamped notes so that we don't get lost. Obviously I'm on stream, so I'm not going to add voice notes, but sometimes if things are really difficult to describe with words, I would just, you know, kind of beatbox, or I'd sort of speak into here. I would record a voice message of what exactly I'm talking about, which is really good if you want to pinpoint like a particular harmony or particular arpeggio. Sometimes you can just kind of speak into there, and then the client can get the feedback. They can do the same with me. It's brilliant, instead of just having everything typed out in an email and time-stamped. So hopefully you get those notes, and you can kind of, I mean, what I would say though is like, we are nitpicking. This track's really, really good. And I think people I think the chat is really, really liking it. It always takes me a minute to like catch up with the chat, but I'm kind of there now. And I think people really, really like it. Especially what's more important than any of the sound design or mixing feedback is loads of people in the chat were just saying that like it's like impossible not to like move to it, like when this section kicks in. Like, yeah, it's clipping, yeah, I can feel some filter stuff that could maybe be changed, but it's got that kind of like infectious rhythm, and that's what's really important to me more than any of this sort of mixing stuff. So really good work. What we'll do is we'll jump to the next one in the queue, which is, and also Matt happens to be a Boombox user, but that was purely accidental. So if I jump to the next one here, this is Dead and Buried Vox. I just have to refresh this. As I refresh this, all the new tracks get added, so you can see if you've only just uploaded, you'll be in here. Cool. Let's get this track playing. I'll turn this one up for us, alright? So as we get started, they say this is like a work in progress. They started last night. 80s inspired retro synthwave, I hear that. Hoping to get some production advice. Okay, so what I'm expecting already is I'd love to hear some kind of like more sustained, like brassy but filtered, like Juno sort of synth. Just outlining the chords. I'd love to hear that, something filtered away. Nice powerful snare. The synths feel like they're really far back in the track. And the snare drum and hi-hats are really quite loud because I want to pull up all the high end in this track, but when I do that, the hi-hats are just getting too loud. So I would say, I mean, I know you just made it last night, so it's fine. I would say compress those drums, get the drums sort of tucked away in the track a bit so that all the synths can really create that soundscape around you. Because what I think of when I think of these sort of like 80s or like synthwave songs is they're not usually super complicated, but each element really just envelops you and creates that. It really places you in that soundscape when you listen to them on headphones or good positioned loudspeakers. It's just this like three-dimensional experience around you with the synths, and I think the synths really have to lead these tracks more than the drums do. The drums are so important, but the synths really have to take the center stage. And that mid-range could really be filled out by like a big held sustained chords on something brassy like a Juno, Jupiter. We're just missing, it's just hollow in the mid-range. The rhythm's good though.
Why you gotta analyze the pieces? We had it out, we made amends, but you wanna talk it out over and over.
I'm just seeing where this is going. And then the same here, this should be the section where you sort of tuck the synths away now and you let that guitar shine. So I think we're at the point where this is like you've got your sketchbook out, you've sort of got down all the ideas, and now I think what you need to do is you need to decide, right, don't be like clinical with it, but just decide, you know, what's the most important thing for me in this track? Am I trying to create like a nice reverb soundscape? Are we going for that sort of like city drive sort of, you know, retro synthwave, or like what are we really going for here? Because there's lots of good elements, but there's like always 6 or 7 things competing, I think, for attention. And sometimes what I do when I mix is I'll ask the client for like what are the most important things to you in the song? Like, is there a particular harmony? Is there a particular guitar or something that really sticks out to you? Because I got a track the other week, yeah, it was last week, that had more than 150 tracks in it. And I had to at some point just say, right, how do I prioritize anything? You know, which there's so many synths. It was like 10 synths, 20 guitar tracks, 50 vocal tracks. And it's like, right, what matters to you? What's the most important thing? So I think, you know, you've sketched all the ideas out. You've got some rhythms going. You've given yourself a lot of space to do this as well. But I'd say the next step is to really decide what's important. Dazette likes it though. And it's a totally different mood. Let's see this. Cool. Yeah, this is great. People are liking it, but I'm going to move on to the next one. And just to kind of keep the momentum up for now, I'll just put this back to default. So this is Dodo, and then I'll add a few more from the chat as well. Kara, do you have a track? I'll just add one because you've been giving great feedback. that's a really cool, strong start. Happy Larry, Larry. Okay, cool. Right. I'll just take it down there for a sec. This would be great for the last track to listen to, because the drums here are like, they're really punchy. The drums really set the tempo, but they're actually not as loud as you'd think they are. Like the synths and everything else gets a huge amount of presence here. I'm not usually a fan of like these kinds of manipulated vocals, but like I really like them here. I think they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. But take another listen to the drums. They set the tempo, they set the rhythm, but they're not eating up tons and tons of space. They're not like punching well above the mix. Just a second. I love all the filtering. Really, really good. Oh my god. Incredible. I'm an absolute like sucker for these sorts of tracks. Amazing. Really, really like that. Honestly, it's difficult to know, because sometimes I was thinking, oh, is it a little bit too bright? And then other times I boosted the high end and I thought, oh, that sounds good. So I guess it really just depends on what your references are for that. And yeah, the random hardstyle kicks at the end were so funny. Yeah, I don't know. It's only a minute long, so I wonder where that would evolve to, but let's see. Michelin is saying, yeah, it needs a little bit of variation, and I think that might be where this is coming from. It's like, what are we about to jump into? I think I like, the vocals, the tone of those vocals. They do, after 2 minutes of that, it is very repetitive, and I think you're aware of that. Dodo often adds like some things in. Sometimes you add things as sort of placeholders when you know you want to replace them later. But the important thing that I like all the way through is that, well, at least until the end, there's a lot of cohesion. Like the track didn't forget what it was. Like you introduced elements, you kept these rhythms going. Especially here, like it all sounds like the same song, which is something that, beginners can sort of struggle with, and I know I did, is that, and it's one thing you really need feedback for, is that you can make like 5 or 6 different songs all mashed together and it doesn't sound cohesive. So that's really, really good. Let's see this here in the chat, just making sure I'm not missing anything. But honestly, like this section here, I know it takes a minute, literally a minute to get to the chorus, but by the time we reach here, I'm just like completely satisfied with the sound design and everything the track's doing. Like it's so rich. Okay, I'm actually going to get around to reading your comment now. I don't know why I didn't read this first. First half of a collab that you started, then this is all your part. Looking for production arrangement suggestions. Okay. What I wonder if the start is a bit long to be atmospheric. It does take a while to build up, but like I liked it. I have patience for that. I wonder, what do other people think? Do they think that this sort of atmospheric section was a little bit long? Maybe we could start a little bit sooner. But like this is great. Like keep that exactly where it was. Let me just check the rest. Maintaining the energy for the entire track. I think you maintained the energy great, you know, especially once you get to here. I just think it's all payoff from that point. I really, really liked it. Make sure that with a collab that you don't, you know, that you don't steal too much of the show, because this is amazing. You want to make sure there's still some space for them to excel as well. Sound selection's good. The vocals, I like that the vocals go away and then they come back at times. Maybe these snares come in a bit sharp. Would it be right to start these snares, like filter these here? Yeah, I think maybe it would be completely inappropriate for the genre, but I think in this section you could start by like filtering the snares up. I don't know if that would sound like really, really cheesy, but you could give that a go. Yeah, I think it's worth the wait. Avenir, throw your track in. Go on, throw it in. We'll play it as an interlude. Better be good though, okay? Cool. People are saying filtering the snare might make it more interesting. Roni, just wait a little bit. We'll add some more songs soon. Wow, there's so many chats today. I hope I'm not missing too much, but let's see. I asked M if they had a track. I'm just gonna see if they've added one here. We'll play a little bit more of this while I catch up with the chat, okay? I love that sort of tape stop effect on the U as well, where it goes you. I love it. I'm an absolute sucker for that sort of stuff. Really good work, Dodo. That's actually one of my favorite that you've submitted in terms of just how harmonically rich it is. I really think you nailed the layering in that sort of final chorus or drop or whatever you want to call it. I think it just felt super, super rich at that point. And I would say don't compromise too much. I know it's a collab, so if they ask you to take stuff out, blend things in a bit more, like, you know, hold the line a little bit, because I really, really liked what you did there. And I want to say excellent work. It's I'd really be interested to hear what the second half of that collab involves. Let's see. Aria also has some great feedback about the vocals. They consistently have great feedback in these streams as well. Okay, so this is Zapster's updated mix from the last stream we did. I'll turn the volume up. Is this large enough for everybody to read, or should I make this a little bigger? That is quite harsh here. Okay. Already. Now, I don't have like, I don't have tinnitus or anything, but though that felt really, well, touch wood, but that felt quite harsh and resonant in the top. So I'm gonna see if we can do a little bit of spectral reduction there. I don't usually do this, but nice. There's nothing, it's not happening anymore. What am I doing? I don't need it anymore. Okay. So what you need for that lead sound, right? Because we struggled with this last time. I'm sorry for anyone that's just jumping in thinking, what's going on? But what we need to do with that lead sound is stop worrying about mixing it. Like even me, I'm trying to fix it with like a resonance suppressor. To be honest, that's a pretty stupid move from me. It's not going to help. What you've got there is the original sound is just too resonant, and I know that it has these rich harmonic overtones, but I would say if you want that to be smoother, we have to pick a sound. We have to adjust the synthesizer, or maybe it's not a synthesizer, maybe it's like a sampler or something. We need to adjust it so that it's not as resonant and that the notes it's playing are just smoother. Like the actual wave shape, you know, has to be something closer to a sine wave, something with a bit of smooth pluck to it. And I do like the lead, but what happens with my ears, and it might just be what I hear, but when I play the lead, it's so loud that my ear sort of starts cutting down those resonant peaks, and then when I turn the track off, I feel like I have a hole in my hearing. It's really weird, but I think it's something my ears do to kind of protect them. But I know that my ears are really weird, and the more videos I make and the more feedback I get, the more I realize that my hearing is actually really different and weird. Like I definitely hear things a bit different. So I don't know if that's happening to everyone else. But anyway, let's listen to more of the track. What was the comment here? Fading in an ARP here to keep the momentum going, which was good. That was feedback from last time. That's really good. We could have more of that ARP. That was really good. It was actually so spatial that I wanted to check to see if my speakers were on. Really good. The arpeggio, the ARP definitely helps. I'm going to jump ahead to here just because it's very long. Okay, so this has more punch and impact than the last time we reviewed this track, so it's going in the right direction. But what I think really needs to happen is we need to fill out the mid-range, because it feels like we've got a lot of low end, mostly through the track. You know, there's a lot of low end sort of bubbling away. There's loads of high end with these synths, but I just feel like the whole middle of the track needs something. It needs some kind of sustained chords, some thicker piano in the middle, or it needs some kind of synthesizer that's playing some nice filtered chords. I don't know what anyone else thinks. But let's see. Jump ahead a bit. Does everyone hear that arpeggio in the back? Like, just bring that up. That can just be so much louder and fill the track around you. And it feels like with the piano and that lead, everything's very transient. It's all very like things poke and jump around in the mix, but we don't have like a solid, like a sub bass and a piano just like holding the chords and just keeping the power and the momentum throughout it. What do we think? I agree with M18, like something like that, just adding that bass in there. What we need here is just, you know, a nice strong subby bass, like, and then glide it down. Like we just, you know what I mean? Just like something really, really cool. Please don't clip that out of context, but you know what I mean? Like we need just something that just says, like, this is the harmonic bedrock of the track, and everything else on top can now sing and shine and do whatever it needs to do, because we've just taken care of like what the actual root note is, whether it's being played on like a growly but filtered reese that's under the track, or just a sub bass, or even just the lowest registers of a piano that's filtered away. That can sound really cool. I've heard people do that where they just play really low down on a piano. It can sound really subby if you affect it right. But I'd keep it simple. But we are moving in the right direction, because last time the track was just lacking some momentum, and when we got to here, it was really all over the place, and you are pulling things into a better direction. So yeah, I do appreciate that you've taken on board a lot of the feedback that everyone gave you last time. The piano definitely hits harder. I think it's a case now of like the notes you're playing. It just feels a little bit you know, dum da da dum. I'd rather hear like a big full piano chord or something, just something that sounds really rich and full. I like it. We'll jump on to the next track, but I really appreciate, again, how much you took on board. I know if you're jumping in just to this stream, you're probably thinking, you know, it's difficult to contextualize what's changed, but that is really a good improvement from the last stream, and yeah, I like to see it. Let's see what else is in the... Got a couple in the queue. This is going to be much louder. Okay. They say the mix and master is quite a mess. They're French, so forgive the accent. I'll try my best. And any feedback will be helpful. Okay, let's give this a go. I'm waiting for the bass to come in.
You say you wanna quit, but I'm not okay. I need you to say.
Wow, 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 wow. I just want to say for the last track, that's kind of what I mean. You can play around with the mid-range and the treble, but at some point, just let the listener know what's laying the bedrock, the foundation of the track. And I really, really like how groovy this is. Really, really good. I'll dig into the mix in a second, but for now, I just want to sort of absorb the song, take a listen to what you're actually singing about, and just enjoy it.
With me, you say you wanna quit, but I'm not okay. I need you to say. I need you to say. You say you wanna quit, but I don't understand. I don't understand that you want me, that you want me, 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 you want me. I wanna find it with you, yeah. Then I'm finna fucking with you, yeah. Two babies falling with you, yeah. One pleasure, saying you like. With you, I can't refuse. With you, I just can't use. With me, with me, I won't tell why you can't talk to me. Yeah, pretend like you just don't know me.
Okay, so there's so much good stuff to say, of course, and I think the chat agrees so much. Like, the groove feels really, really good. I love the bass. I like the tone of the bass. The drums feel really good. I'm not sure if it's just like a drum loop sample or whatever it is, but it sounds really, really good. Sort of like constructive feedback. Actually, no, there's one bit here. I thought this bass slide was absolutely delicious.
You want me, you want me, you want me, you want me, you.
I thought that was really, really nice. The bass slide just was absolutely delicious. But now these vocals here felt really, really repetitive. So in this section, the vocals don't feel too loud.
You say you wanna quit, but I don't understand.
The vocals could have a little bit more intelligibility, but I understand you're not even singing in your native language. But here, the vocals just got loud and very repetitive.
You want me, you want me, you want me, you want me, you.
It's like a little too much. Maybe at that point, do we filter the vocals away? What do we do with that? Do we just like, do we cascade them into reverb? Do we just cut them away and let the instrumental work? I
You
wonder.
want me, you want me, you want me, you want me.
It just keeps going.
Find it with you, yeah.
And it is definitely louder. So I think one problem I'm having with these vocals is they might just be a little bit too loud. But who knows? Let's listen to a bit more.
Then I'm finna fucking with you, yeah. Two babies falling with you. One pleasure, saying you like. With you, I can't refuse. With you, I just can't use. With me,
Just messing with the vocals.
I won't tell why you can't talk to me. Yeah, pretend like you just don't know me.
So I'm just
Can you
boosting the
You say what I like.
Okay, cool. So I'm actually going to say, often I tell people that their vocals are too bright. In this case, I actually think your vocals could have a touch more at like 2 or 3K, just so that the rest of us can hear it with a little bit more intelligibility, because I can hear your voice, but I can't always make out the words you're singing. Does that make sense? I'm just going to listen to the compression on the vocal real quick.
That's your shit. But you can't leave me. You say what I like, but I'm not okay.
Okay, also, if you do have a vocal compressor on there, which I'm pretty sure you do, make the release time faster. If you can remember, what do you know what your release time on the compressor was? Because it feels like it's maybe 300 milliseconds or higher, and I have a feeling that's about where it is. Maybe even half a second. It's hard to know. Some compressors don't show it, but I feel like if it was a quicker release, this is maybe too deep for a stream, but if the I can see this is frozen a little. If the release time's quicker on the compressor, it's going to bring the volume up at the end of the word, and it's those ends of the word where a word ends with a T or a B or a D. If that's being crushed by a compressor, it can make it really difficult to hear what words you're actually singing. Automatic with UAD top line. Okay. Automatic release usually works quite well. I'm not familiar with that plugin. Let me just check actually. I'll tell you what. Oh, cool. I want to know what it is. I'm just Googling. It doesn't say. Yeah, people are saying it is quite long actually. So that might be it. Who knows? It's difficult. Right, I'm going to keep the stream moving though. Okay, I think that was really, really good. I think you can actually push the vocal a little bit louder here. What usually happens when you mix your own vocals is people will put their vocals very loud. If you're not like familiar, when you hear your own voice back on a recording, you tend to sort of cut it down in your brain. Because we're all used to doing that. I'm not entirely sure how it happens, but basically if we heard our own voice at the volume it actually is, so close to our ears, we'd probably, it'd probably drive us insane. So we're used to lowering our voice just inside our brain. So as a result, artists usually keep pushing the volume up. But not here. Oh, solos come back for some more treats. So anyway, let's play this. Usually people put their vocals too loud, but in this case, I think you could put them a little bit louder.
I need you to say, I need you to say. You say what I agree, but I don't understand. I don't understand that you want me, that you want me, 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 you want me.
I've got to say the number of times you repeat "you want me," I think it's just at that point it's just kind of grating on me there. But I really like everything else in the song. I think the groove and the vibe is really, really good. Your vocal tone as well, I should say. Your vocal tone's really nice. I think you're a good singer. I should have said that right off the bat. Sometimes I miss giving the like obvious positive praise because I often try to focus on what the problem is in these streams. But yeah, I think the "you want me" repeated earlier here. Did I think you were saying "you and me"? I don't know why I said that. But I would say take those sections, take the volume down by 2 or 3 dB in those repeating sections and see how it sounds. But I think it's a little too. You know what? Shah has some advice here. Maybe do like telephone vocals on that and make them move around the head. I'm not sure about the moving around the head bit, but you could definitely automate it with some kind of filtering and reverb. I totally agree, Yeah, I agree with Kara as well. Just the vocal part being too repetitive, which is a shame because like the rest of the song's punchy. It sounds like really fresh as well. Like I just
You to say, I need you to stay. You say you wanna quit, but I don't understand.
good stuff. Honestly, I really, really enjoyed that. Let me just see what time we're at. We're 45 minutes. Who do I still have in the queue here? We got a couple in the queue. So what I'll do is now I'll add 1 or 2 people who are paying Boombox members because those people are supporting the stream, which I'll explain in just a moment. So I'll add this one here to the queue, and I'll do this, you know, every hour. I'll add a couple people here that have, let me see, I've already kind of accidentally added a few. We'll add Etan there as well. We didn't play them last time, I think, and we played Dezette already, luckily. Cool. So for anyone that does want, oh wait, I'll tell you what the stream is. The stream is dropping some frames. Nope, it's working. I was going to say this. There's no way the stream was going to drop frames, right? As I was going to do like a tiny sponsored segment. You know me, I don't do a lot of sponsorships. I try to sort of keep it real here. Boombox really facilitates these streams and makes it very easy to do these, which is why I've partnered with them. I also think they're just an excellent service and I use them every single day. I would open up my project folder here. You can see loads of people that I'm working with, but I'll keep I'll keep their privacy. I was going to jump into some of the projects to show you how it works, but there's a bunch of like unreleased songs and albums, so it'd be wrong to like share all of that stuff on a stream. So I want to say in the description, there's a link to sign up and join Boombox if you want to join it and use it the way I do. I'm currently on the pro plan. But right now, if you've submitted a track, you'll be on the free plan, which gives you a certain amount of storage and whatnots, but you can really start with whatever works for you. Now, Boombox is an all-in-one platform for music producers, creators, mix engineers, mastering engineers. That's personally what I use it for. I use it for like all of the collaboration tools. So all of the storage, you know, for me, it's unlimited cloud storage, file request inboxes, mix revisions. It basically just makes it really easy to send stuff to and from clients. They send me all their stems. I can send them their mixes and masters back. We do all the feedback, just like we've shown. But if you are releasing music, sharing music, collaborating, you've also got like playlists, things which make it really easy to pitch to labels or to share your music with the world. And there is, importantly, music distribution. So whether you have a distributor or not, this would allow you to distribute your music to, you know, all of the shops and stores you want it on, you know, all of them, Apple Music, Spotify, you name it, keeping 100% of your royalties because you're paying a sort of monthly or annual cost. You get to keep all the royalties from your music. So there's no, Boombox is not taking a cut or anything like that. So if anyone wants to sign up and support the streams and get a little bit of priority, not just in my own streams, but also with all of the Boombox creators, there's plenty of us sort of YouTubers and artists who do these streams on a sort of weekly or a monthly basis. You get a little bit of priority for the feedback as well. And like I said earlier, this is also an affiliate link. So if you do sign up, it helps support my streams as well. I'd rather be really transparent with that. It's no extra cost to you, but I do get a small kickback as well. So I thought I'd be really transparent about that. But anyway, let's get back to these tracks. Thanks a lot, Oscar, for that last track. I thought it was probably the sort of most deeply grooved track we've had so far in the stream, and it was a real pleasure to play it. So we got a few in the queue, and I'll add a couple more. So this is, it's called Larry.wav. A bit unconventional. It's mostly piano. Let's take a listen. Beautiful. So I thought that this was really, really beautiful. I have a feeling that the piano could have a bit more space though, because I love what your performance on the piano I think is really, really good. But I feel that everything feels like a little bit, like there's quite a lot of low mids and it feels quite dry, and I know there's like reverb on it, but I feel like the piano could just be existing in a slightly different space. Does anybody else feel that? Like it could be a little bit more, I don't know, there'll be something emotional about it sounding like a little bit more like it was in a hall, but not just like a crazy reverb. Does anyone else agree? Because I'm really captivated by how you're playing, but it feels like everything's very close mic'd. Does that make sense? Yeah, and also I love that Talos was and is a huge inspiration. Me too, to be honest. Whenever I still listen to their music, I just can't believe it. It always makes me want to go back to the DAW and produce something, but also feel crushed because it's never going to sound as good. Yeah, I just want to listen again. Like if the piano just had a little bit of a shimmery verb on it. And then for that synth, I feel that synth is really quite narrow as well. It could be spread out, and I have the perfect plugin for it that I had to remove from my list here because it's a plugin that I've been working on for the last year that I'm about to release, and it would just be perfect for that lead. But maybe in the next stream I can put it on that because we're going to release it in just a couple of weeks' time. It would be perfect, but I can't spoil it yet. It is it would just be perfect. Etan agrees. Chris has some great advice here. Chris Ibbotson in the chat. They always show up with phenomenal advice. So back the threshold off a bit on the loud piano parts and automate the level to compensate. Like I think that would be really, really good as well, so that it doesn't feel over compressed. And yeah, something like Valhalla Shimmer would be excellent. Let me see this. The issue as well. Spoil one letter of the name. B to Dodo. B. If the one thing about these piano performances is I always used to find there's so many piano plugins and VSTs and samplers and libraries that, you know, if you perform on one, you've kind of locked into that sound, because when you start flicking through other ones, you're like, oh, that sounds so good, but the way I performed it doesn't make sense anymore. So then you're like chasing your tail with velocities and stuff. So I would be wary of just changing to a completely different piano library, although you could for fun. There's nothing stopping you doing that. But yeah, this is really, really good. You know, something Talos would do in their productions is like run off the synths into, in fact I have it right here. They would run off, let me see, I need to actually get the live stream panel open so I can see what I'm doing here. They would run off the synths into one of these. Come on, focus. Focus, for goodness sake. Professional streamer. Okay, it's a guitar pedal. This one's called the Turbo Rat. But anyway, what they would do is run off all of their synths in groups into this. It's just in and out in mono, so you'd have to stereo widen it afterwards. But basically, it's a distortion pedal, and you just like distort them like crazy, filter it, and then pull it back in, and you blend that in as a parallel layer. Talos would do that all the time on their bass parts. And then it kills all the low end, but it gives you this incredible distortion. Just like straight out the interface into guitar pedal. This particular Turbo Rat was the one they were using. And then back in, blend it as a parallel layer, and it gave like such extraordinary just like fizz and density. If you haven't listened to Talos, I'll just put it in there. Just go listen to a bunch of their music. It's a true tragedy for the musical world that they're no longer with us, but it is what it is. Oh, someone's come to the door. Solar's letting me know. Nice. Right, I'm going to just press play on a bit more of this. it's pitch black outside. I don't know why someone's coming over right now. Must be the post. I'll keep this playing. Super late night delivery of a unreleased Black Friday product that some company probably wants me to promote. It's ridiculous. All companies know they have a year to prepare for Black Friday, and then they'll just send everything like a week or two before and be like, please make a video. Like, no, absolutely not. Right, let's see. Yeah. You know, I desperately need to make a new mastering video because I don't know, I've got a whole different philosophy in Chain now. Well, let's see this. I go for 1 minute and everybody's just taking over the stream. Larry, this was really, really good in terms of giving you like some more feedback. Let's see. I think running some tracks in parallel and just distorting the heck out of them. I know you don't have to go as far as like doing it with a guitar pedal, even just, you know, running a parallel track on that synth and just crunching the high end and then blending it in to the point where you can just feel it. Like that's what Talos always used to do. And what I love about their music was that I'd always listen to it and go, there's no way this was made in a DAW. Like there's no way someone opened a laptop and just made that. And that's how it always felt to me. And it's because they did all this stuff that just brought it to life. Yeah, Larry, this was really, really good. The main thing is finding a good space for that piano. And I think some people have given you some good ideas for different reverbs and piano. You guys are so funny in the chat. Dodo, is that Icarus by Eden that you're talking about there? I'll jump onto the next track and I'll try to keep up with the chat now. Oh, we've had one from you before. It was great last time if I remember. Do not listen to this. Oh, okay, cool. Maybe a different one. Yeah, no published music. It's okay. You know, the thing about the published music is the streams always get flagged anyway. So it's kind of like, did you post another one? That's what I wonder. Maybe. No, I don't have another one, but thank you for letting us know at least, because it will help the stream not get flagged. So we have one here called Ready for the Fight V2. When you do submit stuff, make sure that you put some more comments here. It's good to put like your socials here, but you know, comment what you want some feedback on. I have a feeling this is going to be very loud, so I'm just going to turn this down here, right? Oh, by Tony Ann, okay. Let me just... Had a feeling this would be quite a loud track. Okay, let's see where this goes. Okay, so I just see that we've got the wrong one, so I'm just going to click on this one instead. We're still in the queue, but I'll jump ahead a bit. Oh, that sounds really thin all of a sudden. I like the other one more. Yeah, don't worry about the dog bark. That's definitely on my side. Wait a minute. Was it just me, or was that... The other one sounded better? Or am I... The other one felt a little bit more full, or is that just me? This feels too bright. This one feels like it needs this. Yeah, I'm actually just really curious because I genuinely felt that the other one was better. I want to go listen again. Where are we? Let me just jump ahead a bit. Yeah, I like low end so much better. Is that just me? Has this one got some different mastering effects on it, and it just sounds a little bit louder, I think. I think actually this one has good qualities, and so does the other one. I like the low end in this one, but I think the high end was quite good on the other one. But it sounds way better with this EQ anyway. So what's that? A bit of a dip at 6K, a bit of a boost at 1.5. This needed more, and this had a little too much. Great low end. Yeah, so this first version is like fuller, deeper bass. The low end I feel sounds maybe more professional. The other version did have more clarity, sounded a little bit more spatial in the high end, so I think you kind of meet those two in the middle and it'd be really, really good. Yeah, I don't know, I'm not entirely sure what you want feedback on, but those arms are just kind of dancing around. Nice. How wide does it sound to everybody in the chat? Because this is around the time in the stream where I start losing a bit of objectivity around the stereo field. You know, at this point when I'm doing a mix, I would have taken a break by now. I just would have, headphones would just be off and I'd just be doing, you know, coloring, labeling, emails, anything else, and then, you know, giving it 5-10 minutes, and then the headphones or speakers would go back on. So I wonder, does it sound nice and wide, or do things sound a bit narrow? Let's see. I agree with Avenir that the songwriter needs a bit of refinement, like maybe the arrangement as well. Avenir says the arps are maybe kind of going all over the place and are too chaotic, giving no real theme. So let's take a listen. Maybe that's harsh, maybe that's true. I know what you mean, actually. There's a lot of bouncing back and forward between those two notes. Yeah, it definitely sounds a touch narrow. In the treble, if I were to grab, say, let's go back here. So that's just grabbing a big sideband. So any difference between the two channels, I'm just trying to boost so that each side has more difference. This is not necessarily the way I'd achieve it. I would go onto your synths and, you know, stereo widen them, add more to the side channels, that kind of thing. I tend to find if I'm doing stereo widening on the master, there's usually a mistake somewhere. Like there's room for like subtle. I love mid-side EQ on mastering because it lets you be like really specific with what you're adjusting instead of just being broad and adjusting everything. I can say, oh well, if the problem's just on the sides, let's just address it on the sides. That makes sense, right? But if I'm using a sideband to do that in mastering, like we got to go back to the mix. Like for sure, we've got to go into the tracks and make the guitars wider, make the synths wider, whatever it needs. Yeah, people are saying the delays sound a little bit off. Avenir's got some good feedback here. Like with songs like this, they always think like, what am I supposed to be focusing on most? And for me, with this one, it feels like almost the kick drum is what I'm focusing on most. So I think, you know, what would be really good is if you listen to, say, that Dezette track that we had playing earlier, first track of the stream, I would sort of use that as a bit of maybe like inspiration for how to lead someone's attention. Because what I always noticed about Dezette's tracks and why we love playing them, I'll just go back and play it right now just so you can hear it, is that it always feels like I know what I'm supposed to listen to if I go here. It just feels like the attention, like my attention's being respected, like I know what to follow. Like, oh, I'm following that sweep up. Now I'm just following that bass, obviously. And now I'm listening just to that. You know, it's like... It's difficult to spell this out because I know to a lot of people that's going to be obvious, but do you see how, you know, Dezette has a lot of sounds going on there, but I always feel like my attention is being, like, guided, and then it gets to the point where it gets really busy. It's like just repetitive enough that I can follow it, but there's enough ear candy that I'm not getting totally bored. Does that make sense? Like, I think that's a really good sort of like case study. Dezette, have you published any of your music anywhere yet, or are you still waiting? Because people would love to like hear it out in the world, but that's what I would do for your track, is try to, let's get this next one here. Try to think about guiding the listener's attention, and that's, you know, that's the real difference between like a human-made track and like your sort of AI generated thing as well, is that if you're at the helm and you're steering it, like you can really decide what the listener pays attention to on like a micro, like slice by slice of the track, as opposed to just putting something together where all the sounds sound or feel right. You can really decide where you want people to go. Right, this is a track from Etan. Hopefully we can read that there. But also, I want to say again, honestly, like all the tracks in this stream have been really, really good. I sometimes, you know, I feel like I have a job to do here, and I feel like I've got to find the problems, but there's so much good that I can say about every single track, and I'm not just saying that to sound like a fortune cookie. Like I mean it. It's so cool getting to hear so much different and good music whenever we do these streams. Right, I'll add that one actually in the track as well. Let's listen to this. I remember this before, I think. Nice. It's groovy, isn't it? Lots of bass. Do I still have my EQ on? it's sounding a bit, I like the groove, I like the sort of funky nature of it. It's sounding a bit like fizzy and compressed in the top end. I'm not sure if it's just that it's limited really loud or if you've got something on that bus, but it's the instrument tracks are starting to sound really fizzy at this point. Sorry. There's just like I guess it's a little bit of abrasive maybe. But that bass is also so loud. Oh, I like that ear candy just off in the left ear. That percussion. So I like that, but I feel like there's maybe a little bit too much of everything. I think it might just be a lot of limiting, a lot of compression. People saying the drums are a bit loud. Let's see this, right? Set the drums down a bit. Yeah, this is a tough one actually. I'd love to dig into the stems of this because this is one of those tracks where I feel like there's a little bit too much of everything when I play it loud. So when I play it a bit quieter in my headphones. You know what, actually, this is going to be really, really good for you, Etan. When you go to mix this, the next time you open up the DAW, play it really, really quiet because it's so helpful for me right now. I'm going to do this on stream because I just did it on my side. But if I play this and turn the volume down and we're all quiet and I'll stop talking, listen to what sticks out and then you'll be like, oh, okay, that's what needs some attention. Even lower. So I find that doing that's really helpful because as soon as I did that, it became very apparent what was stealing up the space and what was just disappearing away. I know I say this so often, but something I do is just like take the headphones off and I use this as a speaker. So I'll just like turn the volume up a bit and listen to it out of the headphones. And usually there'll be like a hi-hat will just be like piercing through or a synth will just be piercing through. And then I'm like, okay, that's probably what's eating up a bit too much of the space. Let's see this. It's something that I do when I'm just like, and also remember we're reviewing tracks, but we can just have a chat as well. It's something I do whenever I'm just like going around in circles. You know, when you export something and you're on mix 3 and then like mix 4, you pull up the drums and the bass a bunch and then you listen to it and the vocals feel low. So then you pull up the vocals and then you export mix 5 and now, you know, that all feels good. But now you can't hear the sub. So you bring the sub up and then you're on to mix 6 and you're like, wait a minute, all I've done is I've just brought everything up. I'm 2 mixes later and everything's just got louder. Like that's all that's happened. That's at that point I just stop and I go, right, I need a new reference here. And that is true no matter what system you have. You might have great calibrated loudspeakers with a Trinov. You might have, you know, some VSX headphones and have a really good room. It doesn't really matter what. You can have an amazing reference system, which is going to help you mix. But if your ears are tired and you've been doing it for 2, 3, 4 hours, it's 2 a.m. or whatever, that's when, you know, you need a new reference and you need a break. Even if you have a world-class system, it doesn't really matter at that point. So that's what I would do with this. It sounds like when you've mixed it, it's like, oh, that needs to be louder, this needs to be louder, this needs to be louder. When I think what we need to do is like start taking things away a little bit. Oh, you know, who mentioned TalkBox? I just scrolled straight past it. That would be really, really cool on this actually. Oh, Dodo recommended it, yeah. And yeah, and I'm only saying this, you know, because there's a lot of groove and funk here. I think the wubby synths are a bit loud. Like right away, I'd say the ones that are going wub, wub, wub. I don't really understand why they're louder than, say, like the brass. And I think the brass could be louder if it wasn't as bright. I know, let me see. See what, I need to go find the microphone. Because I remember when I was in a studio, they were using these Coles 4038 microphones, right? Give me a second, right? I'm gonna get this. I'll play this while I find it. Right. If I open up, how do I do this? Let me just, sorry. Here we go, right? So this is this microphone in the middle. The Coles 4038, I think. This one here. I remember we were using this in a studio that I visited, and the brass sounded really, really smooth. And if I scroll down a little bit, I've never been on this website in my life, by the way. I'm sorry if there's like nonsense around. You can see on this microphone, it literally only goes to 15K. And there's like a big dip here. So it gets a really like warm, full brass sound, but it clearly takes away the high end. And that's what I was hearing. So when I was in that studio, we had this like beautiful, smooth brass sound. And I was wondering, I was thinking, well, it must be because this microphone picks up a really, really smooth tone. So obviously if you can't do that, it just means on your brass, maybe on the brass, you could do something a little bit like this. Take the top end down a touch. You know, don't do this. Just be smooth with it. And then you can bring the volume up with the brass and it should still be like really like palatable, like you should be able to tolerate the volume. Let me see this. But this is what I mean. Like, I don't have those microphones, but you can try to, even if you've got, this is the thing as well. Sometimes, sorry, I'm going well off topic. Sometimes you have like a beautiful sample library and they'll say like, oh, you know, we recorded the brass in, you know, this famous New York club, or we recorded the brass in this like perfectly flat tuned room. And like, that's great, but that doesn't mean it actually sounds good. Like a lot of the time, you know, these beautiful, like rooms have to be built for the instruments of the time as well. And if you have a cathedral, like sometimes the reason it's that shape and size is so that it works with all of the different, well, all of the different, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not trying to say organ, I'm trying to say specifically the lowest tubes of the organ. What are they called? The lowest registers, come on. I'm well off track here. Ranks and divisions, what am I looking for? Stops, that's it. Yeah, so, you know, that means that room might sound good for an organ, but it doesn't mean brass is necessarily going to sound good in there or something. So you still have to adjust stuff, even if stuff has been recorded like meticulously and beautifully and perfectly. Sometimes it can be too scratchy. We're well off track here though, so I'm going to jump to the next track. Etan, really, really enjoyed it, and thank you again for supporting the streams. Let's jump to the next one. Wavefarm, do you have a track that you've submitted? Because you've been giving some fantastic feedback. Let me see here. So we've got a couple now. And when we play this one from Avenir, I'll pick some more tracks.
Across the sky, I wanna go to a golden city. I wanna float through space and time. Hold my hand and go there with me. Let's see what we will find. Here we go.
Okay, I want to say I really like the energy you've created in the track, but the vocal the ducking on the vocal, to me, I don't know if it's what would be normal in this genre, but it's so distracting to me, and I think I would just rather hear more of your vocal tone, a bit more of the mid-range of your vocal, and maybe try leaning into some like saturation on your vocal, a nice verb, something like that. Maybe I'm just like old-fashioned. I feel this sort of ducking of the vocal feels it makes it really difficult to follow your message and the lyrics that you're singing. Does that make any sense? Yeah. But let me see this. Because it kind of sounds like you're saying "here we go," but then it also sounds like something is just like cutting you off while you're saying that, so it doesn't sort of sound as impactful to me. I like how you distorted your voice here, and then the distorted synths came over, though. That was kind of cool. And here, the lead melody is just so... it's so complicated. It just hits so many notes. It doesn't seem to repeat very easily, so I'm wondering like what to hook on to. Your vocals could probably be a bit louder. I've already accepted in these streams that I don't know what to look for in a hardstyle mix because I don't mix hardstyle, and I've actually never mastered a hardstyle track. So sometimes I go, oh, it sounds a little bit like this or that, and then the chat, everyone's just saying it's perfect, don't touch it. So don't listen to me when it comes to mixing it, because I always feel like the hardstyle tracks just feel like after 2 seconds there's just like there's no momentum left for me. I always feel like there's no power in them for some reason. Like once you get to here, like after 2 seconds of that, I feel like my ears are fatigued. So I know that I'm not the person to judge it. So for all I know, that's perfect, right? Okay, here, this sounds like the vocals are more normal. Maybe it's just that the ducking's a lot quicker, so I'm not perceiving it the same. Yeah, whatever the vocals are doing here, I would go do them over there as well. That would be my move there. I want to see that I didn't miss Wave Factory. I probably did miss you, sorry. Avenir's telling me this is like how almost everything in hardstyle's mixed. I'm trying to see, I'm trying to think, does this melody match in with what you're singing? Does it work with what you're singing? Maybe it's just me, but I feel like there's beautiful melodies, but I feel like there's so many different melodies that I'm not sure how they all fit together, but maybe that's just me. Cool. I want to hear how this one ends, and then we'll move on from it, because I wish I could give you more like mixing advice, but I think it's kind of out of my depth here, I think. Pull the vocals up. But yeah, for me, the issue I always have with these is that I feel like hardstyle listeners think hardstyle is really really hits hard. But whenever I listen to hardstyle, and I've gone sometimes on like Apple Music or Spotify, tried to listen to it, it doesn't sound punchy or hard hitting to me at all. It always just sounds like neutral flat bass. There's no punch. It just feels like everything's crammed together. And maybe that's the point, but to me, the way people describe it is like super hard hitting, really, really heavy, but it doesn't sound heavy to me at all. It actually sounds quite like light and floaty. So I'm a bit confused. But honestly, given that you said it's a draft, and you don't have to shoot yourself down and say the song doesn't sound that good, because I think good vocals, good vocal tone, I would take the vocals from here and put them earlier on, so do away with the ducking. That's what I'd personally do. Love the way you blended the vocal distortion here, especially to help ease the listener like me into those really hard hitting synths, like this vocal distortion again. Really good. But I just think the vocals could probably be louder overall, give people a bit more of that tone. Because without a little bit more volume in the vocals, it's also hard to follow kind of the story and the message of the song. And that's why I'm focusing on all these sounds and these harsh sounds, because I'm kind of struggling to hear the meaning of the song through all the sonics and the sound of the song. I hope that makes sense. But thank you for sharing that with us. This next one should be fun. It is Avenir, but he's gone through a different account this time. So we're going to listen to this, and I'll pick a couple from the chat.
I can feel you everywhere, like a shadow, like a fever, looking for a getaway, no escape, I'm going deeper. I can't find my way out, I can't fix my broken heart.
This reminds me of something, but I love it.
Our love turned into a war.
Incredible.
If I win or lose, I don't even mind. I don't mind. Set me free.
Oh, amazing.
Let me follow the road. Trapped inside, I can fight anymore.
Okay, that'll do for now. Nice. So for anyone listening, I guess, what I'm doing is I'm putting on my mastering hat now and going, right, if I received this, what would I do? What would I be saying?
I'm breaking the chains.
good. I just want to go listen to a few more parts again to get a little bit more context. I'm really listening in for the vocals and the harmonies. Cool. So what I liked here with the harmonies, the harmonies had like a breathy quality to them. So you got your lead vocal and then you've got the backing vocals and harmonies on the sides, okay, panned left and right. It can be really good when you leave a bit of low end in them and they've got this like textural feeling to them. I really enjoy what they sound like here. I think in this section the backing vocals feel like a little separated, like a little bright maybe. But I think overall I feel like the vocals could be a dB louder and the hats could be like a dB quieter. And then Shah has done the same thing where when you take your headphones off and you just sort of play the mix out, play it quietly. In fact, we'll do it all together just as an experiment, right? So I'll close this down. If we listen to this mix really quietly, what I'm expecting that we hear is that the hi-hats sort of sound quite a bit louder than everything else, but this will be sort of like a proof of concept. It might or might not work. So just listen with me. I'm going to turn the volume down and I'll be quiet. So I'd say overall, like when we turned it down, there was a lot of balance. The kick and the bass felt good. The synths and arpeggios actually felt really nice and clear, but the hi-hats just felt like they were ticking just a touch too much on the track. And I know this is so annoying, mate, because this is master version 2. So we've set you onto master version 3, but I really think the hi-hats are like a dB, half a dB too loud. And that's what I mean. Like, I like experimenting with these things and doing them live instead of just telling you all what to do, because so much of mixing, mastering is all just like trial and error. Like you've just got to see what works. Like if you try these techniques, you see, like if someone gives you a technique on YouTube video, let me try to see what I've got here, right? Yeah, if someone gives you like some technique in a YouTube video, there's no point just going like, oh yeah, that's great, let's do that. Like try it, use it on a mix or two. And if it gives you like good results, keep it. If it's not working for you, just like, you know, move on. It doesn't mean that they gave you bad advice. It just means that the advice wasn't suitable. So I like actually recommending something like this. We'll do it all live and we can see that it actually works. Like it kind of makes a bit of sense doing it that way. Like I know who would have thought, but let's see this here. Who's talking about Tony? Yeah, okay, cool. But honestly, Avenir, I really, really enjoyed this. I've enjoyed all of the music you've submitted to the streams. I've enjoyed the remixes and tracks you've submitted to our community challenges on Discord. I'm looking forward to hosting another remix contest. And everyone on the Discord knows that it's just because I'm putting the final touches on my plugin that I'm not, that I haven't done another community challenge on Discord. So close to the finish line with that. I was going to say actually during the stream on my store, on my Shopify store in the mix.store, I do have sort of like an early access thing. So if you want to join up, sign up and put your, well, not sign up. If you want to put your email in, you can get sort of like, you won't miss when I release my plugin. There's a bit of a teaser there, but that's just on my Shopify store in the mix.store. Yeah, but it's like this close. I'm just about to send it out to the final round of beta testing with my team. We're at the point now where it works, it's perfect, but we need to check it with like every DAW, every laptop, every computer we can get our hands on, every graphics card. We're at that point now. And yeah, we haven't had any bugs yet. So we're just hoping we find some issues before we, you know, launch it. Oh, I'm so excited. Right, I'll play the next track and then Igor, we can have a little bit of a chat, right? So this is Sweet Bee, and this person has requested this 1,000,000 times in the chat, so I hope it's good, right? Okay, we got a bit of like harmonic dissonance in this section. Like it's like a little bit of things sort of floating in and out of tune. And then definitely here with your vocals, we need it's hard to relax in front of a microphone. We just need a little bit more confidence with that vocals, because I can hear the fluctuation, I guess, in the confidence of the voice. And this is something I struggle with like every single time I film or go live, is that my voice will start like wavering and it will do things that my voice has never done before. And I'm like, wait a minute, I just need to speak like I'm speaking to a friend. But you get in front of the microphone, it's super easy not to get like choked up, but you hear how like you got a good vocal tone, but it's just like it's fluctuating in a way that just doesn't sound as confident as I know you can be. On that teach me how to be, but I'll tell you the harmonies sound quite confident, because you're probably more relaxed for those, because you're probably recording your harmonies going, oh, I'm going to tuck these away in the track, it's fine. But the lead vocal, I would record it with a little more confidence, right? Let's see this bit here. And this synth here in the middle, I don't know if you can see it. It's doing this basically, way too loud and competing with the vocals. So we get this quite a lot with tracks from sort of like people that are new to this, is very resonant instruments. I don't know what's up with this, but you can see it on the spectrum analyzer here. It's just a big... See that? I don't... Oh, froze up a little bit. I don't know what that's about. I don't know. Let me see. No, okay, I thought the stream was freezing a little bit. I would go for a sound that's much softer and doesn't have that sort of resonant peak there. It'd be much easier. And Avenir said need surfer EQ. Yeah, you could have something to like follow that, but I would say what's the point? Just I would pick something that doesn't have those big resonant peaks. And by the way, it's not that I saw it on the spectrum and thought it was a problem. It's that I heard it and then I'm trying to like look for where the problem is. Does that make sense? Don't go digging around looking for problems just with this. Like you want to listen and hear it first, obviously. I know that's like stating the obvious. You know, honestly, Mighty in the chat actually likes the dissonance of the guitar. Like honestly, that's like, this is what I mean. You can... I like those strings. I much prefer the vocals here. These are sounding good. I think it's just on that line, can you teach me how to be? I think that one needs some more confidence, because I felt your vocals here were really nice, actually. It's like as you progressed through the song, you kind of relaxed into it. It sounded much better. Love those strings. Feels like a pizzicato, yeah? Everyone knows, like, all you need to give me is drum and bass or some, like, string section or pizzicato strings, and I'm just like, I love it. So, you know, it's pretty easy to win me over. Yeah, so that resonant instrument, I'd say get rid of that. I think it's just a note on the guitar, but I would smooth that out. Maybe it just needs some distortion. I would say overall, lean into just the next time you go to do a production session on this or a mix session, I would just be thinking like confidence, but smoothness. So you do want that vintage sound that I know you're going for, but just think like, how do I keep this really confident and very like sure of myself with the direction I'm going with the sound? That would be what I'd kind of like keep in mind in your next session. And I think that would sort of stand you in good stead, I hope. But yeah, really, really cool. Like a very, very different sort of track. And I'm not saying that to be like weird or mean. Like it's really cool to hear different stuff. This is your first time posting. Well, lucky. I'm glad you got that in. Modern French rap. Hope it's okay. Yeah, honestly, it's fine. If it's in French, just I hope it's relatively clean. I've got no way to know. So here we go. I love it already. Okay.
Dimanche soir, beaucoup trop tard. Quand j'écris ces lignes, je repense grave aux rêves en retard. Le serre en déprime, tout est noir.
This bass
Arrêts
doesn't
en gare.
kill me when it comes
Le cœur de
in. I
la
want
pub
this bass to
s'abmerger
blow
froid.
these headphones off
Mais je
the
perds pas
top of my
espoir.
head.
Je vais atteindre la cime pour l'instant dans la série. Je crame un filigrane, j'en serre mes peines en filigrane. Écrit cryptique, j'intimide grave. Au collège t'es pas bien, j'étais timide grave. Seul sur champ de bataille, je vois 10 000 crânes. Crame le chromie comme si 2 mois j'ai pas graille. J'arrive dans le que truc comme Resval sous 3 xanes. Mon coloc c'est le J dans CJ à 3 grammes. Je repense au passé, je me dis que je m'en suis pas trop mal
Felt I
sorti.
wanted like a bit more movement in the
Parcours
bass.
accidenté, j'avance au milieu des orties. Là je pense au futur.
Okay, cool. I want to listen to the vocals again.
Atteindre la cime pour l'instant dans la série. Je crame un filigrane, j'en serre mes peines en filigrane. Écrit cryptique.
Okay, so the timing on the backing vocals is throwing me off a little, and this is something that's so difficult with rap, especially because you don't want the backing vocals to be like so tight and perfect that it sounds like a pop song. But if there's a little bit too much difference in time or like delay between the backing vocals and the main vocals, it just gets this blurry quality that's like really rap is all about the flow, and that flow, if you're like 5 milliseconds off, you're off. So that's what I'm hearing
Pour
here.
l'instant dans la série, je crame un filigrane, j'en serre mes peines en filigrane. Écrit cryptique, j'intimide grave au collège.
I just feel like some of the vocals are pushing and pulling. Maybe it's really creative and people actually like it, but to me it's a little too much. And then in this section, I felt the delays were overlapping the lead
Au
vocal.
passé, je me dis que je m'en suis pas trop mal sorti. Parcours accidenté, j'avance au milieu des orties.
And that's another plugin that I've got another plugin in the works that's hopefully going to help with that. But basically what you want to do is get some of those delays and reverbs just ducking out of the way. So when you can have all those reverbs and delays swelling, but then when the lead vocal starts singing again, you could have all of those delays duck back down again. And there's lots of ways to do that. If you have your delays on a separate send channel, you can just have a compressor that's side chaining from the lead vocal. So whenever the lead vocal sings, the volume on those delay channels is just cut down. But honestly, a lot of, big time engineers just do this manually. They will just have an automation clip so that whenever the vocal is singing, the delays just get cut down. And you think like, wow, that's a lot of work. But actually that's what I used to do with all of like my songs, because I just felt it was cleaner than setting it up.
Le pont préparé, allez.
Je regarde le feu dans les flammes de bateau de rêve. Ce dernier jour où j'ai bleu sur le dragon.
I also think the vocals are much too loud, but that might just be me. Let me go grab the vocals here.
Allume l'épée bleue, regarde le monde depuis ses yeux. Tranche la terre depuis les surages de vivre, je sais que ça ira mieux. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's
Regarde les
really-
larmes qui s'agglutinent lentement dans ma rétine. Quelle heure est-il? Demain c'est la fin, j'ai faim, je vais crailler cette vie avec les épines. Nouvelle rage qui m'anime.
Even like with the vocals taken down by like 2.5 dB, I still think sounds a little bit better. So I would say at least a dB. Take the vocals down by at least a dB, and I think everything else is going to sound more powerful around it. Yeah, everyone agrees on the vocals, it seems. Yeah, let me just see this here. But your vocal tone is good. Your flow's good. I hope the lyrics are good. I don't speak French at all. But yeah, I try not to be too prescriptive, but like I would say I just don't, if you take the vocals down by 1.5 dB, I just can't see it ever hurting this track, because sometimes it's like, to make everything else sound powerful, let's make the drums louder and the synths louder and everything else and the bass louder. But it's like, maybe you just take the vocals down and everything else just feels louder around you. And then as a result, your vocals feel a lot more locked in and they feel really, really cool, because like you're fully supported by the track. Whereas if you're listening in your car, and the vocals are poking out, but like the bass is really quiet because the vocals are so loud. That's not a good look, especially when you're playing it to your friends. You want to go like, hey, listen to this, listen to the bass in this, you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm always amazed whenever I get like reference tracks, the wide range of volume that vocals can be at, because often in pop songs, like the vocals are actually a lot quieter than I expect them to be, and in my own mixes I have to like keep taking the vocals down, because the human ears, we're very, very good at picking out vocals and voices. We're designed, we're not designed, we're evolved to and adapted to pick out human voices much more than, say, guitars or a drum or something like that. So we're going to hear the vocals even if they're a touch quiet. But I'd say that vocals that are a touch quiet is probably better than vocals that are a touch loud. I don't know what you think, chat, but I'd say, if vocals are a touch loud, they're always going to bother me, and I'm always just going to want to turn the song down in the chorus. But if vocals are a touch quiet, I might just be turning the song up a touch. Like, that's the worst thing that's going to happen, is someone might turn the song up. Got to be careful with it, but yeah. Yeah, really good stuff though, Alice. And thank you for being like, brave enough to submit something. Like you said, it's your first time posting. You know what? I will give you this one here. You said, cool harmonies here. Okay. Hope it's not too busy. Let's take a listen.
Ce dernier jour où j'ai bleu sur le dragon, j'allume les pépleurs, car le monde depuis ses yeux tranche la terre depuis les surages de vivre, je sais que ça ira mieux. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Regarde les larmes.
Yeah, they sound good. It sounds like you've got some good processing on them, some good bus processing as well. They sound really meshed together. So yeah, really, really good stuff. I like it. Thanks for submitting that. That was a really, really cool song. We got a couple to get through, and I think we're going to overrun the time on the stream a little bit, but that's not so bad. Let's play this next track. What defines, like, I'm trying to think, one of the things that actually really defines drum and bass to me, tracks like this, I remember playing video games, like back when it was like on computer video games when I was a kid or like a very young teen. Trying to think games that had like drum and bass in them, like Unreal Tournament and stuff, just like those old classics, and they would have these like really good synth-based drum and bass sort of tracks. Maybe it was a bit too early. And the one thing I always thought about them was that they were high energy, but they were just extremely easy to listen to. Like, it was really easy to know what to focus on. Nothing really stuck out too much. It just felt like really, really tasteful. And what I'm hearing here is that, like, the rhythms are right, the tempo's right, the drums are good. It's just there's so many things that I'm not entirely sure what to focus on, because at the first half here, I'm almost following this pretty little lead that you have in the up in the treble. I'm like following this, right? but it's not really evolving much. So then I start thinking like, oh, maybe that's not what I'm supposed to listen to. And then I start listening to the mid bass that's going wom wom like this. So I'm following those notes. But then this new lead comes in at the top, wham, 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 wham. And I'm like, wait a minute. Was I just waiting for that? Was that what I was supposed to listen to? And then all of a sudden I realized on that first listen through, I was like, wait a minute, I'm worrying about what to listen to instead of just like enjoying the track. So it's either at the point where I'm just like, my ears are cooked and don't worry about it. But I felt like it just lacked like a bit of that cohesion. Let me see. Yeah, Zlak was saying the melodies are like a bit random-ish. Let me see. Yeah, I'm just... It's really difficult to put my finger on it as well. But you also said the track was like finished, so I don't really want to... I'm not sure like necessarily whether you're wanting feedback on it or whatever, but I'd love to hear something that's more of like a work in progress, because what I don't want to do is just like tear apart something that's already finished either. Oh wow, this is your first, so this is from wait, ID, is this from Igor actually in the chat, or is this someone else? And did we skip over? I think we skipped over. No, we still got it here. Night Song. Cool. So this one is their first time making an Evanescence style track, so I'm really looking forward to this. How can I achieve this type of sound better? I might have to turn this up. Nice. Okay, so besides all the sounds that are sounding good, the piano arp or the melody that's just pacing up and down, the fact that it's on all the way through, I think is, I don't think that's something that you'd, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know if that would be necessarily like Evanescence style. Like they definitely play with some really pretty melodies, but I think the fact that it's on the whole time means the track doesn't really have that space. It's a very fast, repetitive melody. I agree with Dodo there. But honestly, I think what you need to do with that piano melody is, if this had vocals, honestly, at that point you'd just go, oh, why is there a piano melody here? I would just tuck that piano melody all the way underneath, delay or reverb the heck out of it, and then just let it sit there as an ambient element that's just outlining some pretty notes in the track. Move that arpeggio to whichever chord you want to create tension, because sometimes, you know, if you move the arpeggio to a different chord, it's going to have a bit of like suspense and then it can resolve. But if you just keep playing the same thing over and over again, it's not really doing anything for the track. So it definitely needs vocals, because then it would let you know like what direction to take. And the drums are very clean, but like we really need some more bottom end on this kick as well. There's nothing there, you know? Yeah, so the drums sound a little bit thin and hollow, so you could, you know, make a parallel track, slam them, blend that in, but I think a little bit of like careful sample choosing, so I'm not sure if if this is like an addictive drums set or something, you know, maybe you need to find a different drum plugin or some different loops, but we want, you know, remember that we want that kick drum to really be thudding underneath the track and going, you know, we want to feel that. You want to feel that in your chest. I know we're wearing headphones, but you want to feel like that kick drum's really wanting to make you move. You don't want to just be following it like in your head, like, oh, that's the kick drum. You want to feel it, you know. Same for the snare. It's a little bit hollow, a little bit rounded. I'd love to hear a little bit more of like a crunch and a full body on that snare. But I can't really fault, like, you know, timing, tempo, instruments, sound choices, it's all there. I think you'd need to get vocals on it, and that would really let you know, like, oh, okay, snare's way too loud, those guitars need to be wider, you know, it would give you some space for it. But I think you're going in the right direction. I'd play with some more ambient stuff underneath the track, like I would say what you're missing is like some like ambient sort of pad, like undertone, and that could be the piano arpeggio just reverbed and tucked under the track. Like I think that would really set the scene for that kind of track. Right, let's play this one here. Had a couple of tracks from this fella before, and they've always been really, really interesting and fun. Yeah, it's already weird and fun. I like that bass coming in. It's a bit squelchy for like, you know, what I would normally listen to, but great sub going on there. I love the kind of saturation. In fact, you can see it. You can see these different notes here. Right, this one's tough because it's just so unique and different. And so I'm not entirely sure, like, what would I do? What I would do, right, you see these sort of squelchy synths here. I would probably tuck them further away and give space to other stuff, because I feel over 4 minutes that it's gonna get quite repetitive. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one because when tracks are only instrumental like this, what I like them to sound like is, oh wait a second. Yeah, cool. What I like them to sound like is very, very three-dimensional. So I like to feel the space all around me. I feel like when there's no vocals, there's no excuse for stuff sounding at all flat or static. But when I play this, what I'm wondering is like, where's that punch? You know, like I know we mention them quite often, but when you listen to like a John Hopkins instrumental, it's just like so much punch, so much space all around you. I feel like when you're just playing with instruments and synths, you can really afford to use your stereo wideners, use all the space available to you, because you don't need to worry about stuff phasing out with a vocal or anything weird. Like I would say, like, make full use of the stereo spectrum, and then let's find some punch in this track, because it sounds a little bit like two-dimensional and flat in front of me. And I've heard some of your tracks before. I know that you've created that space before, so we just need to find it. Maybe Stab has a point here. It's feeling static, but maybe that's what you want. Zlak has some great advice here, like effects and automation are great. Like if you automate and push and pull your effects, it can really, really give you space. Let me just see where we've got. Yeah, I just really feel like it it needs so much more punch. That's just me. But thank you for sending it in anyway. I know I'm being a bit harsh. We're getting to that point in the stream. Right. Let's see. So this person is asking for, they're going to add some vocals to this, so they would like some feedback on the mix. Let's give it a listen. I hear the cassette. Those guitars are really beautiful. Really beautiful. I love that. Beautiful. You know, what could really help marry or stitch a vocal to this would be a very slow, smooth cello, just bowing, just individual notes, or maybe voiced in chords, but to be honest, probably just just outlining either the root note of the chord or just whichever note honestly sounds prettiest. If you had that just like low underneath the track. You can imagine it, right? Yeah. Like low, and then your vocal's going to have something to like grip onto while you let all the guitars do their thing, because otherwise it'd be pretty difficult to sing on this unless you go down sort of like a Novo Amor, Bon Iver type route where it's the vocals all above the chin and up, and it's all very breathy and it floats with the guitars. Unless you've got that kind of extraordinary voice, I would say like just beautiful cello, or sliding bass. Polly's saying, I know Zlak, I know you want to add strings and trumpets and all that stuff, definitely. It could be so easy to overwhelm this. Like, my gut would be like, put a string section under it, but then you lose the beauty of the guitar. So just a cello underneath this. Because I know you bring the strings in here. And let that cello hold the note, like for it shouldn't be like dun 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 dun. Like let the cello just hold those notes. Wow, my throat's so sore. Let it just hold onto those notes and just bow them very romantically. Give everything else in the instrumental something to grip onto. It's going to be so good. So good. Yeah. What I don't want you to do though is oh, it looks like the stream's losing a few frames here. What I don't want you to do is over edit this to death, because it's very pretty. We all liked the human touch in it. Don't yeah, don't get in there and quantize absolutely everything perfectly, and don't have the cello just hitting perfect static notes. Like, let the cello overlap from one chord to the next. You know, automate its expression so that maybe towards the end of each bowed note, the vibrato just becomes a little bit deeper, maybe a little bit quicker, and then slower. Make it sound like someone is passionately playing that instrument, and it's going to give that vocal something to grab onto. And when you do put vocals on it, if it's you or anyone else, just, you know, the first thing you want to do when you sit in front of that microphone is just hit play on that track 2 or 3 times. Like, don't even sing anything. Just hit play, hum, get into the mindset of how you felt when you recorded this track, and then start singing. Don't be thinking like, oh, I've gotta just, yep, you know, don't do that in front of the microphone. Don't seize up, right? Yeah, what a beautiful track to end the stream on. That was really, really lovely. I've run over just a little bit, but that's perfectly fine. I'm not sure what November dates I'm going to do for the streams, but I'll probably ask on Discord. I'll probably do a poll to see like what day of the week works best. I did these 2 as Wednesdays, but we'll probably swap to a different day of the week. And I'll see how I can fit it all in with this, with the plugin launch, because it's going to be, that's going to be crazy. I've got loads of videos to film. This thing has been like, it ended up when I was building the like original like circuits and prototypes for this thing. It now sounds better than I ever could have possibly imagined when I set out to build this plugin. I know I'm being vague about what it does, but it's so good. And in a week, this next week or whatever, I'm going to be filming like all of the sound demos and all that stuff. It's going to be super, super fun. So the Discord link is just in the description of this video. I have like a link tree that has all of my links. So it has like the YouTube website, everything. Yeah, and if you don't want to miss anything to do with that launch, just sign up here on my on inthemix.store. You can, you know, sign up to the mailing list. And a huge thank you to the sponsor of the stream, Boombox. You saw during this stream at the start, some people got priority feedback, and we added them in first. So if you want priority feedback in the future, if you sign up to one of the paid Boombox plans, you get priority feedback, not just from me, but from all the other creators that do these live streams too. I'm on the pro plan, but for most people, I would say that the creator plan makes most sense because you get your distribution, which is what most of you would be wanting to do. The starter's good. It's good for getting used to the platform. Creator makes most sense for most people. And if you're like me and you just need a ridiculous amount of storage, then the pro works out quite well. But anyway, thank you so much for everyone that submitted. You know what I'll do actually? I will say, because there's usually some questions, right? I'm not going to add any more tracks, but if anyone does have any questions quick, I could answer some of them here, either about the streams or about anything. But yeah, let's just see if I'm missing anything. Because usually after the streams, I just jump right over to Discord anyway, and we have sometimes a little bit of an after party. And yeah, I will say for anyone that doesn't get played, you know, we do these streams every 2 weeks or so. There's a bunch of other creators. If you go onto Boombox and you find them on Instagram or whatever, they, or even on their website, they'll list where, when the next streams are, who's doing them, where you can follow for all of that stuff. Yeah, let's see this here. Okay, cool. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to play this track out, and we'll just sort of end the stream there. But a huge thank you, not just to everyone that was watching, but you know who you are, the 20, 30, 50 people that were giving loads of feedback. You know, I don't have any moderation in the stream at the minute, so I'm just gonna put that user in a timeout for a couple of minutes, right? Just so we don't have them playing at the end. It looks like we didn't actually have any moderation in the chat. I might be wrong. So it's incredible that the chat still kind of held together. So yeah, let's play this out. Thank you everyone for giving feedback. It really makes these a much, much richer experience than just me talking into a mic for a couple of hours. It's really, really cool. And Solo's not here to say goodbye. I think he's having his dinner. See you all next time, okay? Bye-bye. Well, I tell you what, actually, before I finish the stream, that was one that I meant to get to, so I'll Igor IS, I'll add you onto the next stream. Okay, we'll make sure we prioritize your track. That was super loud. I wasn't expecting that. There must have been just one more track in the queue from you, Igor. You know, if you're on the Discord, I'll just give you some private feedback as well. No worries. All right. See you all next time.